Hey everybody. So I have always been a huge fan of escape rooms because they are basically one-screen puzzles IRL. If you've never done an escape room before, I highly recommend it. They are super fun. Though they do vary quite a bit in terms of production value, so make sure you find a good one that has really good reviews. So because you can't do escape rooms right now because of quarantine, I found this place that actually offers like online audio escape rooms. And I was very skeptical going into it, but it ended up being freaking fantastic. So if you are interested in this video, before you actually watch it, you can actually play the escape room yourself. Because if you watch this first, then you're going to get spoiled. So if you're interested in doing it spoiler free, there's going to be a link in the description below. Make sure you check it out to try to do these escape rooms yourself. Really can't recommend them enough. I had such a good time. I've done every single one that they offer at this particular place. And in fact, this is the only place I could find that actually offers these. But yeah, they're like $15 a person, and you sort of have a narrator run you through, again, what is very, very similar to a one-screen puzzle. It's super, super, super cool. So I hope you guys enjoy this. I had a lot of fun with it.
Shall we play a game?
This is the Super Squad, just like the other times. I'm going to start us off with a little opening narration, introduce you to the space with a picture, describe what's in it, and then I'll ask you what would you like to do, and you're off to the races. The more specific you are with your actions, the better. Generalities aren't going to do you any good. I try the comma on the lock isn't good enough. I need to know the numbers you try and on what and all that good jazz. Fantastic. This one, I will tell you, it's important to be bold superheroes. Anything you say that starts with like, could we, or maybe we should, that's a great way to ask questions to your teammates, but always have a plan of action and describe your interactions, and I will let you know what's happening in the room. But just like an escape room, there's plenty to discover. So if something doesn't quite make sense, feel free to ask me to repeat or explore it a little more, and I will let you know what's going on. Everything you need to succeed is in the mission. You won't need to use too much outside knowledge this evening. Any questions, any buzzing thoughts?
Well, we're a group of introverted nerds, so our decisiveness is questionable. But other than
Great.
Except for mine. Except for mine. My decisiveness is absolute.
All right, let's do it already.
All right. So it is one dark evening, one weekend, when you find yourself walking along an empty downtown street. You enjoy the crisp evening air, and round the corner, ahead of you, there's the Science Museum. It's been years since you visited, but you've fond memories of exploring the exhibits and learning all about science. Suddenly, you see a flash in the sky above. Out of the museum shines a pillar of light. Phew! The museum seems to vanish just for a second, then reappears. In shock, you look around for anyone who may be able to help, but you're all alone. Likely being the only people who saw this, you heroically rush forward to see if anyone was injured. You open the front door, which to your surprise is unlocked. Inside, you find yourselves in the front atrium, which contains a gallery with tall ceilings. Overhead is a large sign boldly announcing "Blown Away," an exhibit on the power of air. To the right, you can see a welcome desk, and to the left, there is a sitting area with a rack of brochures. Ahead, you can see various exhibits on display about air and wind. Along the left wall is a security gate that blocks your movement deeper into the museum. Beneath this gate, you can see a strange, unearthly glow that emanates from the room beyond. What do you do?
Shinies!
God damn it. I guess we should start at the welcome desk.
Fine, let's check out the welcome desk.
So you go over to the welcome desk, and on top it has a cash register with the sign indicating the cost of tickets and an upcoming exhibit. As you gaze about, underneath the desk on the floor, you see a small first aid kit. And then you finally see the corner of a note tucked under the cash register.
Read the note.
You pull out the piece of paper, unfold it, and read, "Hey Carol, I have done it. I have managed to pull in a tiny particle from another dimension. The zeta wave readings were totally off the charts. Soon, my super dimension disassociator will merge all possible dimensions into this one. Everyone around the museum thought my fascination with that multiple realities theory was so funny. Well, after this week, we shall see who's laughing now.
Brian, they do not. However much they're paying you, it needs to be double.
It needs to be like tripled.
Yeah, look at you.
This is something we talked about on Tuesday. Was your voice acting is amazing.
The memo is signed Nicholas. In the bottom right corner, there is a sticky note in the nightly to-do list on it.
Okay, we locked the security gate, we restocked the brochures, but did not lock the front door.
Can we look at the... Can we
We were
look
at
at the
King's
medical
Cut's
kit?
household.
We
At
like
the-
see what's inside of it?
For sure, you crack it open and there's all sorts of basic supplies in here: band-aids, gauze. There's some like sanitary disinfectant wipes, that sort of deal.
Were we able to see a computer at the welcome desk or anything else useful there, or are we done with the welcome desk?
There's the cash register.
Oh, it's a
on
cash
the,
register.
display
That's
sign.
That's
Can we
what it
open
is.
the cash register?
There, you certainly can. There is a big drawer button. You press it, and the cash drawer pops out. There's a small amount of cash inside, but nothing else.
I want to lift up the cash drawer and see if there's anything underneath.
There is the bottom of the drawer.
Hey, you never know. You never know.
Yeah, I mean, you know, that's
All
where
right,
I keep the big bills, though.
We got what we came for. Let's take the cash and leave.
And we're out.
And we're done. And
All right.
time.
And time.
Bad ending.
Bad ending.
You die.
All right, let's check out the sitting area. Anything,
Yeah, might as well.
Is there a bookshelf there or something?
There is. Well, it is. There's a number of seating areas or seating devices here. A comfortable chair, bench, and a comfortable poof. Along the south wall, there's also a rack of brochures about the museum.
Oh, let's read those brochures.
Yeah.
They look a little like this.
Science spectacular.
The math of music?
Well, there's a lot of math in music. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Cool ways to
Officer, is it a major or a minor
the
fault?
time exhibit.
That bell jar right there looks oddly familiar.
I know, it's a little bit familiar.
A little too familiar.
Wait, wasn't there
Flashbacks.
something about something somewhere about an upcoming event?
There is
Yeah.
a paper display up on the welcome desk that has the price of admission and kind of some information about a display, upcoming display on it.
I'm assuming this is like a history of, wind-related things or any sort of air-related stuff. Because we got these exhibits and things here, so...
I vote for looking at the rest of the room before going through all 9 of these.
Yeah, before cosmic braining the order of the third letter. Yeah, okay, let's go somewhere.
Yeah.
Also, I'm loving that history of computing thing and just the title.
ENIAC.
ENAC.
Yeah.
Let's check out the test your breath exhibit.
So the test your breath exhibit instructs a guest to measure the strength of their lungs. There's a small opening here where guests can exhale a breath into the apparatus. Above, there are 2 tubes that stretch up to the ceiling that are marked off at regular intervals.
That sounds like a
Alright.
good way to get COVID.
Blow, baby.
I vote to blow the machine.
Blow the machine.
The machine. Right in the mouth this big.
There are those sanitary wipes in the first aid kit if you need. But blowing in, you breathe in deep, and you see 2 small balls pop out of the top, one in each cylinder. They rise into the air about a foot, marking gentle breeze. When you stop blowing in, the balls fall back down.
Inspiring.
I was wondering where those went.
That was inspiring.
I'm gonna click and change those to spheres.
Did we get anything useful from that? 'Cause
What other markings are on the cylinders?
So as you look up, the lowest setting is waft of air, gentle breeze. That's where they ended up floating last time as you blew in. There's the fan, low setting, hair dryer, gust of wind, gale force wind, tornado, hurricane, jet engine, all the way at the top.
Can we reach the top of those tubes?
You cannot. They're like all the way up. It's about 10 feet high. They
So,
reach the ceiling
so
of
maybe
the-
I'm
of
thinking
the
we could
museum.
maybe we can hook something up to it or something like that and get a
Yeah.
better
With
result
With
later.
all the things that I'm seeing here, it looks like it probably what we're gonna have to do.
No. Maybe that hot air balloon. Let's check out that hot air balloon exhibit.
So you see a deflated hot air balloon in the corner. There is a small basket on the ground which is attached to guide wires that run up to the ceiling. Draped beside the basket is the deflated balloon, decorated in a rainbow of colors.
We could like blow up the balloon and like squeeze it into the hole. But anyway, it's something to think of later.
Can we look at the gate?
The part of the wall here is shut by a large security gate. The gate is made of solid metal beams that roll up into the ceiling. You can't see through the gate, but you do notice strange lights dancing across the floor at the foot. There's colors that you've never seen before coming from the room beyond.
Whoa.
Next to the gate, about halfway up the wall, there is a security keypad.
Alright.
Before we get too far, can we check out the basket in the hot air balloon?
Yes, it is made of wicker and will comfortably fit one person.
Okay.
Good.
All right.
Good to know. Good to know.
And what was the other thing on the floor by the basket?
The turbine.
No. Right, just below the
There's a trap
rainbow.
going.
So there is
Yeah.
a little a placard display here that talks about the
that's-
history of the hot air balloon.
Gotcha. Okay, interesting.
We used to take part in the Albuquerque, New Mexico Hot Air Balloon Festival every year until it
you
retired and
really?
got here.
I guess we'll check out the turbine.
Let's check out the
The
turbine.
Windwalker.
Yeah.
So the turbine display is set into the floor. There is a plaque next to it that explains this turbine was used to generate power for rural areas of Minnesota over 50 years ago. The turbine is covered in thick glass with a sign attached to it that says max capacity 4,000 pounds. On the wall next to the turbine, there is a button.
Press the button.
Press the button.
You push it down, and nothing happens.
All right.
That's what I figured.
Is the turbine plugged in? I see. It looks...
So you follow the cord at the bottom of the button box, and it goes down the wall, across the floor, and it seems to attach to the turbine display, absolutely. But the turbine is stationary. It does not have any power.
Okay.
Guess we'll check out the Windwalker exhibit then.
Wind Waker.
Wind Waker exhibit.
Wind Waker.
I can bring his Wind Waker. Like,
I definitely go back and forth sometimes as I read these. In the corner, you see the exhibit titled Wind Walker. See, there
Got
is a small passage here that guests can walk into. In front of the passage, there's a door that is currently locked shut. On the door, there is a small sign that says, "Warning! Please see a staff member if you wish to experience the power of hurricane force winds." Next to the door, there is a key reader panel. At the end of the tunnel, there's a high-powered fan spinning very quickly.
Cool. So maybe we can use this to generate a stronger force. Something. Smiley
Yeah.
face. So it's
Question mark profit.
okay.
So what is that? What is that panel right there?
Yeah. What's that panel?
So next to the door, there's a small card reader. In front of the panel, it's held on by 4 screws, one on each corner, or it should be. 2 of the screws are currently missing, but the other 2 are screwed in pretty tight.
Huh.
Do we have a screwdriver or something we can use as a screwdriver?
Did we ever check the front door?
I'm stumped. I don't have any good starting
I
point.
am too. I was
we
thinking
could
this-
dig through. We could dig through the books. to
Yeah,
see if
let's
maybe-
dig through the
Yeah, I'm
books.
thinking the brochures is probably the best bet we
That's
have.
really our only lead right now.
All right, let's dig through those brochures.
Let's just start like at the top and then work our way down.
Yeah, sounds good.
Brian, you
Are
there?
you like cracking them open to read, or?
Well,
Yeah.
at
Or
first-
see if there's
after
anything
we-
else up there, anything behind him, anything of
Anything
note.
So you kind of rifle through the stacks themselves. They are stacked all the way to the back. Plenty of pamphlets.
Oh, okay, they're all just the same one.
Let's take a look at one of them and see what's inside.
Which one you want to take a look at?
Let's start with the science one. Science
Yeah.
Spectacular.
Science Spectacular. Every Saturday, you crack it open, and this is a kids program that happens every week. They have like a story about the rain cycle, and then like a little craft, and then like a little science exhibit, like a science thing that they can interact with, and it kind of rotates through different topics as it goes. But yeah, Science Spectacular every Saturday.
I'll take you there, Steven. Don't worry.
Let's let's
Get
read
ice cream
it.
afterwards.
Do any of these relate to this exhibit? None of them relate to wind. Let's read the.
The only thing,
let's
the
read
only thing
wave.
that would is making waves, because waves
Yeah.
are
Well,
related
tiny
to
particle
wind.
from another
could
dimension.
look at
is
the
zeta,
waves one.
Totally. Oh, waves! Because he talks about these zeta waves. Maybe the zeta waves in the message
guess.
that we got from Nicholas.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's all I got. That's all I got.
I'm already reading it. Let's
Close
read it.
something.
Possible dimension. Oh, other than that, it's something about dimensions.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll look at the making waves one.
You crack the Making Waves exhibit, and this one is a It talks about in a display that used to be here, there would be like water and sound, and you could like put your ear to it. You could hear how like sound travels through water at different ways, and it was all about waves and energy and how conservation energy. But again, just a display that has gone by.
Is there
I'm
anything?
making these up as I go, by the way.
Is there, yeah, I figured. Based on how much I could feel like you were pulling these out of your ass, I was like, this is not where we need to be right now. Is there anything on the back of the note that Nicholas sent, or on the back of the sticky note that he sent us, or anything more to that effect?
Or underneath the
There is
sticky note?
not.
Okay.
Can
We need a.
check the
Okay,
front
we
door so we didn't lock it.
can we lock the front door? Is that what you said, Spooky?
Yeah, just check the front door since.
Yeah, check the front door and/or lock the front door.
So it's got a little push bar, and it's currently unlocked. You were able to get into here pretty easily.
Oh, you guys have all these memes. I don't know what's the actual stuff. The only things we have.
Can we look?
The only thing that I can even think of that's of significance is the fact that some of these exhibits have quotations, but how that even relates.
Wait, can we... The hot air balloon. Hot air balloons are typically not powered by air, by like external air, but like a... yeah.
Yeah.
The actual engine part
Hot
of
air
that
rising.
air. What's the deal with the balloon part of the hot air balloon? Is it just the balloon, or is the like fire part there also?
The igniter is missing. They do not have that in the basket. And the balloon is just kind of deflated and laying in front of it.
So can we grab the balloon and do anything with it? The turbine on the ground isn't going, so we can't really we could blow in it, but that's not that useful.
Only thing that's working is the test your breath exhibit.
Are there any drawers or anything in the welcome desk?
Yeah, any
There's
drawers
not.
you
It's
can-
just like a table for them to put like cashier and stuff on. There's plenty of room for someone to like sit down and have lots of leg room underneath.
Gotcha.
Just to be sure, there was nothing that we missed with the turbine display as far as the panels, the cord. It's
What's
just
the password on it say?
It's hooked
Correct.
up. It's just okay. It's hooked up, but it's not working.
What is that? A window that is on the side of the Windwalker exhibit?
Yeah, so it's like people can stand on the side and watch people get like blown in hurricane winds.
It blows you away.
What was
I
the?
might say if you look at the brochure display first,
I want to look at the timing.
Hold on.
second, that might be helpful.
I want to look at the time exhibit one actually. That's the one I was about to ask that actually.
Oh God, I see. Okay,
One.
see how the first man on Earth lived. Time exhibit hour,
Second.
and it's second. The
Third.
third Mesozoic area.
What does that give us?
Why there isn't a major or minor fourth.
gonna
So we
be-
need to have 7.
7, 9. Sorry, you go.
Yeah, 7, 6, 9, 2.
2.
Yeah, I think that's it.
Oh, it's just the fourth. I read fifth also.
Oh,
Yeah.
there's numbers in there.
So can we enter that?
Oh my gosh, that's the pin pad.
Yeah.
Can we add 7, 6, 9, 2 onto the pin pad?
Beep 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 as the green light flashes and the
Whoa.
security gate retracts into the ceiling. Through the
Cosmic
opening, you
brain.
see another exhibit with even taller ceilings from another large banner displaying Jurassic Journey: The Age of Dinosaurs. Standing in the middle of this area, there's a large Triceratops fossil, complete from head to tail. To the right, you see a stream of bubbles and a set of benches. Near this area, there's a small cleaning cart the custodial crew must have left behind. To your left, you see a recreation of where the Triceratops was discovered and a few displays on various topics. However, through the Triceratops, you see something even more troubling. On the wall on the far side of the gallery, it isn't there. It appears to be made of multicolored static that is constantly shifting and moving. It looks like a computer glitch, but in real life. Next to the shifting static, there is a large red button.
Carl, don't do it! Don't do it!
Don't touch it! We don't need to enter the Spider-Verse right now. Okay.
Maybe later.
Boy, we really
Yeah.
overcomplicated that last
Obviously,
bit.
the
didn't
most
we?
Yeah, we
exciting
did.
Here is the cleaning cart, so we should look at that first.
Yeah, let's check the cleaning cart. Yeah, maybe they'll have a screwdriver or something.
So on the cleaning cart, you see that on the top there's towels, cleaning products, and a large trash can that's filled with rubbish. On top of the tray, you see a few tools and a handwritten note.
read the note.
Let's read the note.
It says, electrician came by today, rewired one of the key card panels to unlock it. Watched him do it in case I lose my card again. Here's what I remember he did. He connected together a letter and a number, one at a time. Each time he did, a green light came on and he removed the connection. While he was working, he said the following. Explosive, furry friend,
Oh man.
steak sauce,
Alright.
veggie drink, earlier. I'll see if I can figure it out later. Next to this note, there are a few tools. You see a hammer, 2 screwdrivers, a few paintbrushes, and a thick roll of tape.
Oh boy.
Okay, so the code is C9K9A1V8B4.
I hate you. Also, what the heck did you just do?
How did you get that?
What the heck would you just do, Zig?
Wow.
Oh, I get it. C4 explosives. Yeah. K9 is a dog.
Oh god.
A1
Steak-
steak
steak
sauce.
V8.
V8.
Oh.
And then B4.
Oh,
Wow.
Oh my god.
Oh my gosh, that's
Good night, damn it.
Nice job, Zig. All right, let's go
Oh
take the
my gosh.
screwdriver, I guess. and
What
go
a
fuck
god
it.
amongst men.
Yeah.
Shit.
Rewire that using that code, I guess. Holy crap.
I guess we'll grab the screwdriver and do it.
All right, you stroll over to the Windwalker exhibit, and you take your screwdrivers and remove the final fasteners on top, and the front panel falls off, revealing the following: 2 bars, one labeled with letters, the other with numbers. Next to each label, there's a screw that appears to be connecting to some wiring. Above these, there are 5 indicator lights that are all off.
Oh, we need some wire.
Do we need to wire to connect them to each other?
It appears.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, we don't have extra. It doesn't look like we have extra wire. There wasn't any on the cart, was there?
No, just tape, a hammer, and some paintbrushes.
Obviously, and there's 5 of us. We just
There
have
are-
to all like
yep.
bridge the connector.
I was just thinking that. Lick your fingers and just
Yeah.
connect them. One person can open the door. There's one person left to open the door.
It's
So
fun.
we only need one connector though, because they did say it's just like you bridge the connection and then release it. That bridge connect. So I think we only need one.
Wait, can we bridge the connection with the screwdriver?
I was about to say that.
Cosmic brain.
So the thing about the screwdriver is that it's got a pretty thick handle, and you can't get it flat across without the plastic handle getting in the way. It doesn't
All
make
had a
right.
feeling.
Good storytelling. Good storytelling.
Yeah.
Good cock block.
I mean, we could try put our hands on it, but you know, I've watched enough Electro Boom. I'm not doing that.
Yeah, all right. Or we could just, can we get wires from the turbine display that's currently not working, the cord that isn't working, just cut that shit up and just, maybe not yet, but
cut it with
whatever.
what, Carl? Cut it with what?
Cut it with the stuff,
Ballooning.
cut it with the wire cutters and the cleaning cart, duh.
The museum has made all parts of their public displays pretty people-proof.
Okay, all right, fine.
As they should for people like you, Carl.
As you're tugging on these wires, you hear a soft voice come over the intercom that says, interdimensional deterioration at 30%.
All right.
If you wish to put emergency override, please press red button on west wall.
Oh boy.
Push the button.
Do we want to push that button? All right, let's push that red button.
Amazing. Who pushes the button?
Carl pushes the button.
Yeah,
Fine.
Carl's shiny.
So you reach up and you press the large button. As you do, you hear a synthesized voice play on the speakers throughout the gallery. Emergency override sequence initiated. In order to activate emergency override procedures, please confirm by pressing all other emergency override buttons. As you look around you, you see buttons that you failed to notice before pop out of the walls and other locations through the lab. As you look about, you see there is one on the ceiling above the bubble feature, one above the dinosaur display, another inside the plexiglass case attached to the History of Earth display, one along the wall beside the hot air balloon exhibit, one next to the gigantic fan in the Windwalker exhibit, one next to the turbine display in the floor, and 2 atop the Test Your Breath exhibit, one atop each tube.
Oh,
As that
my
happens
gosh.
to you, Carl, you feel a bit strange. You
Mhm.
feel different. You remember things about yourself you seem to have long forgotten. A streak as a vigilante fighting crime. Immense power that most humans only dream of. you step back and remember you are the reality bender. You now have the ability to alter reality around you by viewing what is in nearby dimensions and exchanging things from your reality to others and bring others into your own. As you look about the gallery, you notice many of the exhibits could be swapped out for your others, and your friends, well, they are brimming with potential and realities of their own.
Interesting. Okay, so we can go back and forth between the different realities.
Well, you can bring, so your power, you can touch something, you kind of flip through different realities with this wall of static causing some interference. There are other dimensions that aren't as stable as others. But you see a lot of just kind of spidey sense static about the lab in places you can change. And again, a heavy highlight on all of your friends as you look at them.
Okay.
Touch us all.
Let's go through all of the friends one by one, I guess. What do you guys think?
So you need to focus on one at a time. Who do you begin with?
All right. Spooky.
All right. So you view the Spooky here. You stretch your mind into an adjacent reality and see limitless possibility. They have a unique past in these realities, and you find that one of them seems to have awakened power from deep within. As you pull these fragments into your own reality, Spooky transforms before your eyes, first turning into a small spider and then back into their humanoid form.
Wow.
Spooky,
Yes.
you are the amazing arachnid. You can change into a spider and back into your human form whenever you want. When you're a spider, you can do anything a spider can, climb walls, and spin a super strong web.
So that's how we're gonna get through each one of these exhibits is gonna require one of our special abilities.
I'm gonna
is my
go
guess.
put webbies on that thing so we can have wires.
They won't conduct.
Yeah, they're not gonna.
Damn it.
All right. Next, let's get James.
So speaking of, just as you're saying, like, well, those webs aren't going to work, we can't get a connection, you look at James and you see different realities and you pull one that may be helpful to you now. As you pull a set of new powers into this reality, where James once stood is now a person made entirely of metal.
Hey.
Is now heavy metal, able to change your form into pure metal and back whenever you want.
All right. The shoutiest person goes last. Steven, you're up next.
So the reality vendor turns his attention to Steven and you search adjacent realities for different versions of your friend. You find one where you're simply blown away, quite literally. As you pull these fragments into your reality, he stands tall and emits a sonorous laugh, blowing all of you back a bit. James is now the Great Gusto, able to impel powerful thrusts and wind from their mouth whenever needed.
So you can do the test your breath exhibit. Sweet. Let's do Zig.
So you turn to Kyle, and luckily Michael is standing right next to him as these two are bound together in many realities.
Oh no.
You discover they are intrinsically linked and gifted with the ability to change matter into different forms.
Oh my
Pull
god.
in these fragments and turn them into the Thermo Twins, Flamio and Glace.
This is like the combination of two heroes from two different. Never mind.
I like
Kyle,
it.
you are Flamio, and the area around your hands is quite warm. While Michael, you are Glace, and your fingertips are icy cold. By touching an object, you can either alter its temperature to freezing cold or boiling hot, depending on.
Sweet. You guys ready to give this machine the blow of its life?
Yeah.
All right.
Yep.
Steven's gonna go blow on the machine, and
All right, so you go over to the test your breath exhibit and exhale into the opening with hurricane force winds, manage to push both of the spheres to the very top of the cylinder's jet engine, and you hit both buttons. However, nothing seems to happen. Both buttons are still illuminated, and you don't hear any synthesized voice confirming the press. From down here, it looks like both of the buttons have slightly different text written on each of them. You try to make it out, but it's difficult to read from the floor.
Spooky, you're up. Go up.
Yeah.
Alright.
You're up.
I'm gonna use my spider powers and become little bitty and climb up to the ceiling so I can see what they say.
Get her to the very top of each tube, and you're able to read the text on each button. The one on the left says emergency override, and the one on the right says emergency override override.
So we only need
That's
to
a thing.
we need to hit one of them. What
Well,
if we freeze the one or something like that? Freeze the
Hold
one
on,
bar or
let's-
something like that?
Let's take a look at the other stuff before we like.
Yeah, get
Because
too
there's
deep.
other buttons, so we don't know what they're gonna do or say.
Right.
So now we have somebody metal. Let's go take a look at the thing.
All right, James, you're up. Use your middle powers.
Yeah, we do. We know the combination.
We know the
Put your-
combination now.
Put your fingers together.
Yeah, the C4K9, A1, V8, V4.
With your metal fingers.
Zip, zap, zoop, zoop, and the 5 green lights on top quickly flash on and confirm your combination. There's a soft whir as the door unlocks, and you get access to the Windwalker exhibit.
All right. There's a button that we
James-
can push in there, right?
James
So there's
is gonna
one
have
next. There's one next to the gigantic fan.
to, James is gonna have to walk in there because
Yeah,
he's the
that's
only one
saying
heavy
he's the
enough.
heaviest.
I'm gonna have to walk to the end and push the button.
Well,
Maybe
maybe
read
read
It is the
the
Wind Waker exhibit.
maybe read the button first.
So you crack open the door, and the fan is generating like hurricane force winds, just like it advertises. It's very difficult for anyone in the doorway to keep their footing without getting pushed back.
Attempt to walk past the winds.
You don the metal boots and
Iron boots activate.
I'm picturing those Wind Waker boots activating.
Oh god. Now what?
you transform fully into your metal form and slowly step forward. Being made of denser material than the human body, the wind doesn't have enough force to push you backward. You can make it slowly but steadily towards the back of the tunnel.
1 hour later.
1 hour later.
I push. Well, I read the button if there's any text there, and then I push it.
It says emergency override.
I push the button.
And you hear Automata's voice come over the intercoms. It says 1 of 8 emergency override buttons activated.
Sweet.
Oh boy.
There's the heat, or somebody could heat up the air balloon.
That'd be
Since they're
sick.
really good.
Yeah.
I hear
Step in-
Zig's pretty hot.
Zig's hot. Go do it, Zig.
I'd like to step
Hot. It's like
inside
Harrison hot.
the wait. Where is the button? Like on the ceiling? Up high?
It's on the
It
wall.
is 2/3 of the way up the wall.
I mean, can we just have spooky spider form all of them? Question mark. Like clearly that's not gonna work, right? But I don't understand
I've got
why it's
X.
not. I don't understand
Can
why it's
she
not gonna
actually
work.
even push any of them?
Well, she could spider form up there, transform, press the button as she's falling.
Break my neck
Shoot.
and not get to push any other.
She could shoot a web, hang from it, press the
There we
button.
There we go.
In the
That's
interest
what we got
of
right now.
not breaking the room, I would like to step inside of the hot air balloon basket and
Okay.
activate my hot powers to
Hot powers activated.
inside of the balloon portion.
Oh la la.
So you focus in on a hot July day with a blazing barbecue and channel that thermal energy into your fingers, and the air around your hands shimmers, but it doesn't really go anywhere. Without anything physical to touch and affect, the effect is pretty limited.
Oh, so you need to heat something up?
Oh,
The blowy joy. What's his proper?
Vesper needs to go shoot the airs with your
Yeah, could you
baby.
like shoot air past my hands into the thing?
Oh yeah. I was gonna say just heat up James, but that's fine too. This is how we burn the place down and or melt it
This is how we
fine.
kill each other.
or kill each other.
Blow wind into his hot hands.
Yeah, and
into the balloon.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I'm gonna blow air into the balloon, and Zig's gonna put his flames up into the balloon too, and we're gonna go for a ride. But
Both of
well,
you put your hands in the air like you just don't care and activate your
I
powers.
knew it!
And you blaze the hot air into the balloon, and it fills up. It begins to rise off the ground towards the ceiling. Who is inside the basket?
I am.
James, not
Beautiful.
James. Zig.
Big is.
Kyle is.
Gently rise up, and the top of the balloon bounces against the ceiling, and you are just level with the emergency override button.
Noise.
How convenient.
Push the button.
I pressed it.
You push it down, and there is a voice that comes over the intercom. 2 of 8 emergency override buttons activated.
All right.
The problem I'm seeing here, though, is we have 7 on this list, and there's supposed to be 8.
Yeah, because one of them was sort of fake. Yeah, I have an idea too. What about this turbine on the floor right next to us here? Where is the red button by the turbine on the floor?
So that is the button you were pressing earlier on the blue wall of the Windwalker exhibit. It still is not as illuminated as any of the other buttons you've seen so far. It's very dim.
Okay, so we need to restore power to the turbine display. Is that right?
Right. Yeah, that's what I would assume.
Okay, do we have any source of... Do any of our abilities make sense? Okay, go ahead.
Let's take a look at some of the other stuff.
Okay, sure. Keep that in mind. Keep that in
I
mind.
have a reality bin for it, so.
Yeah.
Let's go.
About that too.
Let's go to the dyno display.
Wait, Carl, you can.
Yeah.
Hold on a second. You look at the turbine display in other dimensions.
Yeah, can we-
look at the button?
Can I look at either the power or the turbine display in other realities?
Be more
So you
specific,
take a knee and touch the turbine display and start swiping to the left and to the right, looking for different turbine displays that would better fit your desires. And you are able to, you discover that this turbine display is a pretty integral part of this museum. Like you read before, it was used to generate power for Royals of Minnesota 50 years ago. The display of this piece was part of one of the reasons the museum was built up, so it's consistent between all realities.
So that's not the
Very
answer
creative,
there.
though, Brian.
Yeah.
That was like a. He's swiping left and right. That was like a turbine Tinder or something like that.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was like, well, this is
Oh,
the
you picking
weird.
up my references?
This is now the weirdest Tinder. All right.
Shall we check out the dyno display?
Yeah, go check the next thing. I gotta see if my food's here. I'll be right back. You guys keep going.
Well, check the dyno display. Nice.
So
Every
the
time you
dino
get that.
display has a Triceratops fossil that occupies the middle of the room here. You crane your neck up to see the massive skeleton. The skeleton is about 10 feet tall and the ceiling about 20 feet total. Along the front of the display, there are panels describing facts about the dino, and on the ceiling, there is an emergency override button.
What is that? What does the plaque say? In case there's anything important on that.
So it describes facts about the dinosaur that surround the exhibit, what it ate, how long it lived, and the climate at the time, and what habitats it could be found in. Lots of little dino facts.
That could be reality.
All right, Michael, it's time to do your Iceman thing and make a thing up there.
What?
You can make
Oh,
Haven't you seen
I
it?
was just gonna crawl up as a spider, but you
Oh,
can do.
you gotta be more fancy with it, man. You gotta go like Iceman X-Men style up there.
I don't know if that's.
There's
I don't
nothing
know
next to the
if,
button
if my
itself,
powers are that great.
Well, you don't know because you haven't tried.
All right, I
You
guess I'll see how my powers work.
And you kind of move your hands around in the air, and it's very cold. And you can breathe in them, and you see it kind of rush out. But you have to be in contact with items that you want to change. Like as soon as you touch maybe the corner of the dinosaur display, like frost kind of shoots out across the whole bit there, and it gets very cold. But you don't have without a whole bunch a source for things
Right.
to freeze. You can't frozone across the.
Let's look at that history of Earth display.
Wait, hold on. Let's
Do we want me to try to spider up it and then shoot a web to the ceiling? I don't know how far my webs go.
Let's find out.
Let's find out. I will turn into a spider and climb up to the top of the dinosaur and then try to shoot my webbies up to the ceiling.
Webbies.
All right, you morph into your spider form and scale the massive dinosaur. You climb up its neck and all the way onto its skull. You take a stance with your 6 legs, your last 2 racing up into the air, and you clench, and you're able to. Everyone watches as about 4 inches of spider stuff
I'm not gonna lie.
pops out at the end.
I kind of enjoy the fails more than the successes. I'm not gonna lie. Phase into the past.
As you command the skeleton to really go, you see that there are a number of different dinosaurs that have been displayed in this area over time. There is a Stegosaurus or a very tall Brachiosaurus.
Ooh,
That one.
Let's focus in on that Brachiosaurus.
You manipulate reality, sending the Triceratops away, and you summon the Brachiosaurus into the room. The dinosaur stands tall with its head only a few feet from the ceiling. Directly above the skull, there's the red override button flashing.
Climb the dino.
Very
I think
convenient.
These are our best climber here.
Dynamite. Let's go to the top.
Yeah, well, I'll climb this dino and not get disappointed this time.
So you skitter all the way up. Once again, you make it to the skull of the Brachiosaurus, but you're still a few feet away from the button.
Crap.
We transform. Just transform back into a human.
Oh,
Yeah.
can I without breaking the dinosaur?
Well, you
already-
give it a test, and you start to slowly transform. And as you add weight to the skeleton, you feel it sway beneath you.
Oh.
Instinctively, you snap back into your spider form. It seems like you won't be able to take human form without the fossil, or with the fossil so poorly supported.
The only thing I can think of is freeze the fossil.
Yeah,
Maybe
freeze the
that'll help
fossil.
support it.
Freeze the fossil.
You could try that.
Rex, do it. Freeze it.
I
Freeze
touch it.
Michael, you're pretty
Dude.
cool.
Reach
Yeah, I know.
out and you think of the coldest Chicago winter, which was probably like what 2 ago. It got real bad, huh?
It was.
you-
We'll talk about that later, but yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so you just think cold thoughts, exhale a small mist from your nose, and everyone watches as the dinosaur bones get super chilled, and if anything, a bit more brittle.
But maybe I'm hoping it.
Let's not do that.
I was hoping it would freeze to the ground. It was my hope there. Do you want to try anyway, Spooky, or you?
If it's more brittle, I don't know. That
Let's
would
say
help, but we can try.
where you saw it sway is kind of like right at the base of its long neck. Has kind of got this like fancy F, like where it's got this long portion that's very straight up, and then when the transformation happened, it was right at the base by the body of the Brachiosaurus where the sway started. If you could
Alright.
reinforce that.
Highway as our metal man to do it.
Do we need to get some metal, or what are your
How
abilities,
tall
James?
can he just like hold on to it?
So you transform into your metallic form and brace its weak point along the neck. As you do, the amazing spider is able to transform safely into their human form atop the skeleton.
Let's push that override
Nice.
button.
You press it in, and there's an otherworldly voice that chimes in 3 of 8 emergency override buttons activated.
All
Ooh,
right.
2 more.
Nice.
Where are we going next? History of Earth.
Yeah, history of Earth.
All right, let's check out the History of Earth display.
Welcome to
History
Earth.
of Earth display. This display shows information about the many stages of Earth's history. There is a view screen here that seems to have broken. From the ceiling above, you see a small pipe that has sprung a leak, sending a stream of water directly onto this view screen that has shorted it out. It's no longer working. Next to the screen, there is a keypad and a small plexiglass box that is currently sealed. Inside the box, there is a button that says Emergency Override.
The steam
I don't know,
is
can you?
obscuring the screen, right? Can we deal with the steam, or
It's water. We can freeze it.
yeah, we can freeze
That's
it.
why I was thinking about freezing it.
Beautiful. You reach out into the stream and you watch as it quickly forms into ice, reaching all the way up to the broken pipe. It shatters and the ice top seals the pipe on top.
Good.
Convenient.
All right, what's the screen situation now?
Oh, it's sorted out.
Okay, so Zig, what was your plan for that?
Time for an
Maybe look to
alternate
the other
reality.
dimension where it's not shorted.
Okay, can we investigate other realities where the screen was perhaps not shorted out?
The reality bender flips through different realities and sees that this display is consistent across many.
Dang.
In other ones, it is working, and you can
Oh.
bring in another display.
Okay, yeah.
Fantastic. You focus on one in particular and you bring it into your own reality. As you do, the display panel flashes on. Without the water to short it out, it continues to display a series of flashing lights.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my.
Oh, it's making numbers, right?
Yeah.
Uh,
5,
Oh.
4, 3, 2. Oh, wait, what?
All right, well, get you. Okay.
There's 5.
Can anybody brain this?
5, 4, 3.
Okay, so yellow is 9.
Here's what we're gonna do. Copy image.
Yellow is 9.
GIF.
I'm gonna follow the orange one.
6 is the last one's 6, right?
What does the keypad look like before we?
Orange is 2.
It's just like the keypad on the security gate 1 through 9.
Okay, so we just need the series of numbers then.
The blue, I believe blue is 4.
4,
5, 4,
Was that
5,
red? 9.
4, 3.
6, right? I'm pretty sure the last
Yeah,
one's a 6.
I think that's it.
Brain is done.
Oh, wait.
So I see 5.
Sorry, there we
4, 3.
I see 5, 4, 3, 6. I see 5, 4, 3, 6 personally. Are there 5 though?
Well, okay, but
In the
it
middle.
flashes the colors. So are we following the colors to see what?
Well, yeah, you're
numbers
following the
it makes?
colors.
That's what I'm.
So this is what I'm noticing. You follow the colors to see what number it makes, and then whatever color order is in is.
Oh, I'm doing it
order.
wrong. Yeah, I'm doing it wrong. Sorry, I was doing it
Okay.
wrong.
It's
I'm
5,
down
4,
with
6, 9, 7, I believe. Let's try that.
Yeah, I
5,
agree.
So
4,
it's- okay, I got
6, 9, 7 goes into the keypad and it flashes red and rejects your combination.
Can we try 5, 4, 6, 2, 9 on the control pad?
5, 4, 6, 2, 9, ding ding, and the plexiglass
Nice,
box
spooky.
pops open.
There we go.
You have access to the button.
Cool.
Push it.
Press it down, and there is a familiar voice that says, 4 of 8 emergency override buttons activated.
Sweet.
Okay, now we got to do the bubble one.
Let's go
Which is
look
the
at the
bubble
bubble.
display. So, over at the north wall, there is a small sitting area and a bubble feature. Bubbles are launched from holes in the floor far up into the air. From there, they gently float down onto the floor below. And at the overhead, you see an emergency override button on the ceiling.
The funny thing that came to my mind was Rex freezing the bubbles and spider parkour up to the bubbles.
I mean, you're not necessarily not thinking what I was thinking of. That's kind of what I was. Yeah.
Well, the bubbles just
Let's
fall.
try it.
Can I freeze the bubbles though?
Oh, it's a good question.
Well, they
Go
just
see what
fall.
happens.
You reach out and you kind of have to chase after them, but as soon as you make contact with the bubble, you're able to freeze it, and in its icy form, it drops to the floor and it shatters with a little tinkle.
Yeah.
All right,
Well,
I'm thinking
I mean,
more
that's
wind.
exactly what I expected.
I'm thinking more wind here.
What is pushing the bubbles up? Or are they just floating?
They're falling down.
They're falling down. Okay.
They are, so there's just beneath there's like the bar across the floor. The bubbles are coming out of there. They're getting created and kind of pushed up by like a little
Oh.
fan that's underneath the floor, and then they raise all like close to the ceiling, and then they fall back down.
We should get Carl to see if there's a different version
That's
of
what
it.
I was thinking. If there's
Sure.
All right, reality man.
Yeah, because it doesn't
What do
seem
you
very
got?
useful. All right. let's-
Reality Tinder go.
Yeah. Let's
So you
swipe.
flip through different dimensions, and you see 2 stable enough for that you can see different items coming out of this display. You see one that has confetti spewing into the air and all over the floor. You're not entirely sure how it got approved by anyone. It just makes a big mess. And another, you see a long row of water jets creating a stunning wall of
There we go.
clear
one.
water.
All right. I swipe right on the wall.
You collect the different fragments and bring the water jets into this reality. There is now a beautiful wall of water that shoots into the air only a few feet away from the ceiling.
I freeze it.
Do you
Blaze
want?
reaches out
Okay.
and the water out to the water jets, and you touch the flowing water. With some deep breathing, you focus on the image of a gigantic iceberg floating in the ocean. Soon, the water follows your direction, transforming into a gigantic wall of ice.
Spooky climb. Go.
How are we getting up the
Spider
ice?
powers activate.
Skitter up the wall to the top of the solidified structure. Although the ice is slippery, your super spider feet stick to it, no problem.
Nice.
About 5 feet above you, there's the emergency override button positioned at the ceiling. You transform, reach out, and press this button, and a voice comes over the speakers and says, 5 of 8 emergency
Yeah.
override buttons activated.
Sweet. Okay.
Not to be,
The
not
only
to be
thing-
confused with 7 of 9.
Yes.
Down to victory.
Wait, we haven't looked at the tar
I'm
pit at all.
Yeah, I was about to say we haven't gone to the tar pit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Let's look at the tar pit.
So you go to the tar pit, and it is an exhibit showcasing where the dinosaur fossils were discovered. In the middle, there's a bubbling pit of thick tar, and as you approach, you can even feel the waves of heat emanating from the pit. There's a small display here with information about how the fossils were found as well.
Want to send Heat Man
Oh,
digging into the
wait,
pit
wait.
or Metal Man?
I
or
want
something?
to know how to get into the tar. Like, can we read it?
Let's reality bend real quick.
Oh,
Yeah,
read the
let's-
placard, please.
Read the
Read-
placard,
okay,
yeah,
read the placard.
See how they
So
do it.
the sign here describes where the fossils were located, and that they've been with the museum for about 60 years. The team that discovered the Triceratops skeleton you saw earlier decided to name it Ralph.
I was wondering if it was Ralph. Yes.
Aww.
Ralph.
That's a
Poor Ralph.
for Ralph.
I mean,
I don't see how.
They at least find his parents too.
I don't see how heating
probably-
or freezing is gonna help this then. So yeah, maybe reality swap. Oh,
Maybe.
Or
Bring
I
Rex
was thinking,
back to life.
I was thinking if it's hot, then you could probably dig through it unscathed. That was my idea, and see if like maybe the button's hidden at the bottom of it. That was my idea. I don't know if it's.
I'm down for that. Yeah.
All right.
I mean, we could at least look through the realities to see if there's anything different.
Sure. Let's look through the realities.
Let's realities before we
Let's not
sacrifice
get
Zig like that.
stuck. Yeah, I was like, let's not get Zig stuck.
No.
Poor Zig.
So
Zig
you
just
flip
gives us a
through-
thumbs up as he sinks.
to flip through the different realities and see that the fossils are always discovered, but where is different depending on the dimension you're looking at. There's one where they are digging them out of out of desert sand, and another where the fossils are uncovered in a ice lake in Antarctica.
Desert sand.
Sand and blow it?
Yep. That's
Yeah.
right.
Let's go. Let's get the sand.
You swap out the exhibit for the one with desert sand. The floor of the exhibit is covered in a thick layer of sand with two mannequin explorers standing near. One has a small brush in one hand, while the other is holding a small dinosaur bone. An area of the ground is marked off in preparation for a dig.
Dig in that area. Can we just? I mean, it's sand, right? Can't we just dig it with our hands? I don't know.
Just
Whatever.
blow it away. Get it out of
Blow
the
it
way.
away.
You can burn it, turn it into glass, but.
And now it's stuck in there.
Use Minecraft powers. Let's go.
Gusto takes a deep breath and you send a gust of wind toward the sand and creates a cloud of dust. When you finish, a large sand pile was transformed in the corner of the exhibit, along with anything else that wasn't bolted down. At the bottom of the pit, there is a red button with the words "Emergency Override" printed on it.
Yeah.
How
Push,
convenient.
push that button.
Press it down, and there is a voice that comes over the intercom. 6 of 8 emergency override buttons activated.
All right. We need
Okay, so we
the.
have turbine and tester breath.
Yeah. Do you want to just do the tester breath because we actually?
Yeah, the test your breath one.
Yeah.
Let's do the tester.
My only concern with that test your breath one is like, okay, so there's an emergency override and there's an emergency override. So what if we hit that one and then it resets everything?
Well, just don't press that one.
Yeah,
We
so
just
we need to mark that
Well,
one.
we haven't. Did we check the realities for it yet?
Ooh, that's a good idea. Carl,
Yeah, we
Reality
did. All
Tinder,
right.
go.
All right. Reality Tinder activate.
You flip through the different possibilities of this exhibit, but see it's very popular. The interactivity has really upped its interaction, and it's always here.
so
Okay.
Yeah.
we could have Spooky spin some web on the top of the override too.
Just to kind of gum it up. Is there
Yeah.
is there an opening that she can spit some web into?
You could crawl right up the little, like the hole that you blow into, and get into the inner parts of the tubes.
Do
Yeah.
Sweet, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna go itty bitty and climb up the tube.
Fantastic. So you see that it's kind of got a Y construction. You crawl in a little bit, and then the path splits. The override button's on the left, and override is on the right. Where do you go?
I'm gonna prove a point and go push the little button with my finger that I can't push.
You see the little spider bracing 4 legs on the side, and then 2 are dangling off, and the other 2 are like.
And then I yell, "See!"
And the
and then I
button
go
goes
over.
nowhere.
The answer is actually for her to destroy the other tube. By
The button
transforming
pushes against you.
In Russia.
Soviet spider.
I guess
so then I huff and go back to the other tube and spit my webs all over to block off the override.
Beautiful. You spin your web around the ball there, firmly attaching it to the walls of the tube. You crawl out and give a cute little spidery thumbs up to your team.
All right. Huff and puff and blow this machine away.
I just
huff
imagine-
And I'm
Good.
gonna huff and I'm gonna puff and I'm gonna blow in the tube.
And you release a hurricane force wind, push the unwebbed ball all the way to the top of that tube, and you press the button. As you do, there is a synthesized voice that declares 7 of 8 emergency override buttons activated.
All right. Now we just
all
gotta.
right. The only thing left is the turbine.
Yeah, we gotta
So
figure out the
what
turbine.
frick?
So where is the button? It's inside the turbine case.
It is on the side and is dimly powered.
So we need to power.
the
it
turbine is what we need to spin.
Have we gone and have we done the alternate realities?
Well, then can't we just use the wind powers to make it spin?
Yeah.
And then
Oh
it powers
my
it up?
Oh.
Wait, there's a cover over the
Yeah,
over the
just
turbine.
Yeah, we're gonna have to break the cover. We have to
There's
break
Hey, metal man.
Oh, yeah.
Can you
Yeah,
can you do anything there?
But then that could get really risky, blowing broken glass everywhere.
I was gonna say we could have Zig melt it.
Yeah,
That's true.
Yeah.
Then there's molten glass everywhere.
Well, it'll drip
No,
down.
it
It'll
wouldn't
drip
melt,
down.
it would just-
It'll drip down into the turbine and break it. It's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. Don't worry about it.
And then we just turn into an alternate reality where one works, and we're just working from there.
We just drag.
Work the angles, people.
There's also tools on the cart. Like maybe we could.
Carl, we are the tools.
All right, fine.
Where's the hammer?
Fine.
We're gonna just
It's
get
fine.
Some of us
rid
more than others.
Here is why. There has to be an exit for that turbine for the wind to go out of. So all of the glass will just get sucked in through there.
Fine, melt that.
I press my hot hands down on the glass.
And you conjure the image of burning oven coils, channel that energy into the corner, and you watch the corner of the glass expand, and then it all of a sudden shatters into a bunch of pieces that scatter down into the bottom of the turbine display. The blades are large enough that they kind of just rattle through and make it way to the floor below.
Sweet.
Yeah.
I guess it broke anyway.
Get over here, Blowy Joey.
Alrighty, I'm gonna do my red tornado and get that thing moving.
A deep breath, and you aim toward the turbine floor. As you exhale, the turbine spins quickly. Near the display, you see the button has illuminated with the words "Emergency Override."
Push it.
Someone hit that.
Push it.
You reach out and you press the button. A disembodied voice says, 8 of 8. Emergency override buttons activated. Emergency override procedures commencing. Shutting down experiment 38X2J. The static wall flashes violently a few times and then dissipates away, revealing the wall behind it. In the middle of the wall, you see a small doorway, which you all rush through. On the other side, you see a gigantic laboratory setup. The walls and floors meet at strange angles. It seems that this laboratory is cobbled together from different dimensions. In the air above, you see a cloud of static. And directly ahead, right in front of you, there is a giant red button, about the size of a manhole cover. It says, Super Final Emergency Override Button.
We gotta all push it together. We don't have a choice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wonder Team activate. Let's go.
All our
Put
strength.
your
Let's
hands
go.
together, and as one, lean forward to press the button, and as you do, a large spark shoots out of the static above. It skewers the button and blows it into a giant fireball. Boom! You're all blown backward. As you get up, the wall opposite you begins to rise, revealing a large pane of thick glass. Behind it, you see a man with a gigantic forehead and crazy hair. He quickly turns around just as a bolt of electricity arcs between machines behind him. It's very dramatic. You are too late! You thought you could stop Dr. Nicholas Ogden, or as I will soon be known, Dr. Brain! He motions to his comically large cranium. By myself, I am an immensely intelligent man, but merging the knowledge I've collected throughout every possible reality has turned me into the smartest person in the multiverse! With my super disassociator machine, no one can stop me! Now, there is just one last thing to take care of, you pesky meddling heroes! With the door shut slams behind you. Dr. Brain raises his hand towards the static cloud, and out of it forms a gigantic ball of magma. It hits the floor and begins to ooze in your direction.
The floor's lava.
Come
Freeze it.
Let's freeze that.
Glace reaches out and cools the magma, turning it into stone. Seeing that his destruction is foiled, Dr. Brain reaches into the air once again. You hear the grinding of gears as the entire ceiling begins to lower, threatening to crush you all.
James,
Yep, I was
Help
gonna
us,
say turn
Jake.
into metal and then support the ceiling.
Heavy metal transforms and braces against the ceiling. You hear it creak and moan and eventually crack and break. Dr. Brain howls in anger, no! And points to a panel in front of him. The wall below Dr. Brain, a grate emits a thick green fog that is quickly filling the space.
I don't think so. I'm gonna blow that bitch away.
Gusto takes a deep breath and emits a massive force wind. The green fog billows through the gate, and you can see it creep into the area where Dr. Brain is. No, not in the air, not in the air! In a panic, Dr. Brain snaps his fingers, and the entire laboratory around you blinks out of existence just for a moment. When it returns, you all gasp for oxygen that doesn't exist. It seems Dr. Brain has swapped out this entire room for a dimension filled with nitrogen.
Swipe left!
The reality bender hard passes on this reality, reaches out on the others, and sees one that may be helpful. You bring in the fragments and you gasp for the oxygen now present in the air. In this lab, you see a large red button, even bigger than the last one, that says Super Duper Very Final Emergency Uber Final Emergency Override Button. But as you catch your breath, Dr. Brain pulls in a final obstacle. A gigantic wall of debris floods the area from floor to ceiling. It's ice cold and frozen into a large wall.
Hot hands and that wall.
It is getting hot in here as you touch the wall and you melt the ice. Water rushes from it to the floor below. All that remains is a large wall of metal debris, and it's pocked with tiny little holes.
I'm gonna spider my way through the little holes.
The amazing arachnid crawls through the debris and sees the other side of the lab. Before you, there's the gigantic red override button flashing ominously. Dr. Brain is maniacally laughing in triumph and doesn't seem to notice your tiny spider body.
You know what to
I'm
do.
gonna sneak up to the button, turn into human, and mash that button.
Press it down, and the voice overhead says Super Duper Very Final Emergency Override button pressed, shutting down all active science experiments. The static cloud overhead flashes out of existence, and the debris wall goes with it. The laboratory around you transforms back into another exhibit hall. Before you, Dr. Brain screams in horror as he's clutching his massive head. You watch as it slowly deflates, returning to regular size. Dr. Brain crumples to the floor before you, weeping. Oh, I had it all. All the knowledge, all the power. How could I let this happen? He turns to you, rage in his eyes. You did this to me. You stole everything from me. As he yells, an infinitesimally small point of static appears behind him. Then you see Dr. Brain's figure pulled into it as if being sucked through a straw. No! Dr. Brain screams as he vanishes into an unknown dimension. You look around. It appears the Science Museum has returned to the reality you know. The beginning where you saw as a kid. You feel your powers slip back to their respective dimensions as well. Now mere mortals, you triumphantly exit the Science Museum. You slip into the night with the knowledge that everything is just fine.
Hey.
You should the knees rise again, you can always reform the Super Squad.
Hey.
Meanwhile, back at the Hall of Justice.
Meanwhile, back in the Batcave.
That was such
Very
a,
good.
That was such
Oh
a
my
cool room.
That was
I love
fantastic.
it.
So fun, oh my God.
I love the.
That was
like,
magnifique.
I love the like boss rush at the end when everybody
Yep.
has to use their individual abilities. That was great.
I was just
Good
like, nah,
stuff,
bro.
You know what? We missed a perfect opportunity. Let our powers combine.
I was expecting Captain Planet. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah. Anyway, thank you so much. I know you're probably gonna get
for
going.
sure.
Yeah, thank you so much. It was so fun.
Appreciate it,
Yeah,
man.
y'all have a great one. We will catch you next time.
Bye bye.
X equals 9. Science Yoshi's racing the clock, and it ain't no joke. Come on, let's go, 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 go. Science Yoshi, what's the news? We are all made of star stuff, something incredible.